Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are looking at our Figure Friday figure of the day. This is Franklin Talltree, otherwise known as Airborne. So I keep dropping them. This is one of the newer releases for G.I. Joe. One of the characters that I remember Peter Cullen had actually kind of voiced when he was kind of doing some of the Joe figures or characters. Looking at the package, it is kind of an interesting kind of collection for Airborne. Just looking at it here in general. It is nice that it is a windowed package again, being able to see exactly everything he's coming in with. Now, he's supposed to be a paratrooper, which would mean that makes him airborne, but I'm guessing this is him after he's dropped down to the ground, because looking at his rucksack, I'm guessing it's not his parachute in that. Let's get this opened up. Let's take a look at him. I know he's got a brother Tommy. Now this is all taken from the cartoon and not from the comic book. Now there's always slight differences when you go between the two of them. I get that, but here we have them here as just taking it from more the cartoon and not so much from the comic book, because that's where I know them from. As everything goes crinkle, crinkle, crunchy, crunch. Alright, it looks like we have a couple different pairs of goggles, which is interesting how they do that. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm getting this out. Alright. So, one of the things I'm kind of mentioning here, we have a rucksack with canteens and a small collapsible shovel there. I'm used to calling it an E-tool, E for entrenching, as I'm trying to get this pistol out of here. Alright, now we're done making all the crunchity sounds. Let's kind of look at his equipment here. So, we do have a bigger set of goggles that looks like it goes over the helmet. The helmet is more of the newer style, which I don't know if I'm really fond of or not. I kind of, when I was in, I had an older style helmet, and we didn't have all the stuff that clipped on there like they do today, so just, it is what it is. I'm from an older time, grew up in an older time frame and all that, so this fits on pretty good, not too bad. Although I think I have it on a little crooked, but it is what it is. And then this, if I take the goggles off here, it looks like it's supposed to fit in here. It's got a little bead on there, so it should be able to fit into the helmet. And sure enough, it does, giving him somewhat of a night view. Now, I've never seen one that's got the 4. That doesn't mean anything, because I don't really look at night vision optics all that often. But, yeah, alright, there we go. And we have some smaller goggles that we can put over them. Oops, and I've got those backwards. So if he's jumping out of a plane, he can have his goggles over his eyes. There we are. Okay, and then we have a pistol, and the pistol does have a little lead on here, extended barrel for maybe putting a silencer or something else on there if we had one, or the possibility, depending on how they make the some of the effects or whatever, it's possible you could maybe put an effect on there, and it looks like we should be able to slide it on in there. And it does. It slides right on in there. Now we have another spot here that's all nice and round. I don't know what that's for offhand. I guess we're going to find this out. There's nothing in our package here, so we're going to find out what we have here. And it is kind of nice. The strapping here that we have is really meant for paratrooping, and it looks like it's supposed to kind of link up here, although it is somewhat separated from the looks of it. Maybe, maybe not. And with that being the case, that's really going to kind of limit as to what you can and can't do. Twisting's kind of out of the question. It's the features there, but with the straps and that, you're not really doing that. We have our scabbard for our knife. We have a nice long knife here that goes in there, really nice. And we have a 9mm, from the looks of it, a 9mm compact submachine gun. Aha, that's what comes off the silencer. So we can put the silencer either on the pistol or on the rifle. We can swap it out as we see fit. And we have a nice spot right here on the pouch, so we can put it right there. It would be really cool. This seems a little on the rubbery side. So if you get this, it's going to be a little on the rubbery side. But it would have been really cool if we could flip that around and either have that out or not. We'll leave that off for the moment. Helmet. Seemingly we haven't put the helmet on. It sits on pretty good. Seems a little, with that strap hanging out here, I don't know how much that's going to get in the way, depending on what kind of posing you're going to do. Just being honest. I think I'll probably leave the helmet off for the most part. And like I said, now we do have the e-tool here, or little spade, shovel, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I'm used to an e-tool. Today's modern one, this all folds up, and it tri-folds. I mean, you can find them at Walmart for like $5-6, but that's what I was using. I don't know if they've gone and changed it, but this should be able to collapse down instead of being stuck out like this. And there's reasons for that. Oddly enough, one of the reasons is, I mean, you can pitch it down more like a pickaxe, and you can kind of pull away, swing it in there and pull away. So you can try and it does help you dig a little easier than just sitting in there and trying to dig in. So you can get a hasty fighting position kind of dug in fairly quick. Yeah. And of course then we have our getting that onto his back here. That works pretty good. We don't have any spots for hanging any weapon off of there. We have our canteen sitting up high on there. I don't know why he's got the canteens there up high, but he does. And we got his arms out here. Now we haven't gone through any of the joints here. I'm sure this is going to be pretty standard. So we do have his ankle for left and right and back and forth. So that works out pretty decent. He does have that double knee joint here. So we have up here and down below. And that is very stiff. Of course, brand new figures should be stiff. So, you know, we just do the best we can. And it doesn't feel like it really wants to move. So, oh geez, there we go. And there. So it looks like he's just doing a little bit of a walk, maybe a trot, I don't know. Doing this, that works out. Because we only have the one strap here in the front. There's nothing in the back. So that works out pretty decent. And you can hear that clicking. That's really tight there. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, especially when you get a brand new character, you'd like a little stiff so that way you can try and pose them however you want. And you just go from there. He only has one set of hands. And of course, his jacket comes all the way out. So I don't think you're going to do the twisting of the wrist all that much. It does a little bit, but not a lot. And of course, we have the double elbow, just like we had the double knee. There's the single, and there's the double. So if he's trying to grab his grenade there or so, he can do that. And the arms are a little bit better. The legs, it does have that swivel right there. The arms have a similar swivel there, so that works out. Now he's got a sergeant, and I'm going to say I think that's an Air Force logo up on top here. It looks more like an Air Force, and it's sergeant with the chevrons going down. So that tells me that's more Air Force than it is anything else. So, okay, looks a little bit more natural being that way. You know, the head moves back and forth pretty good. Now his shoulder does have that second joint on the inside, so that kind of works out for posing. But with this flak vest on here, he's not going back all that much. So I'm not going to say it's a wasted thing. Just trying to figure out exactly how to twist this. Trying to think of, like, if you had him going back, like he's trying to throw a baseball or something like that. Because that would actually be more like this, wouldn't it? So I was reaching back like he's trying to throw a baseball and then throws it out there, extending it out, instead of kind of just flexing his arm out. Now that is one of the things I will note, and the arm seems a little, the joint seems like there's a little bit of a rubberiness to it. Now I don't know how easy or bad or easy or not it is to actually break this, and I hope not to break any of these. I mean, you see my Lego videos, and I drop things, and I drop things here, so you know, it is just some of those things. I'm not always the easiest on things. If it's going to break or fall apart, I'll have it break or fall apart on me. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the night vision look. I think I'm a bigger fan of having this on here. So I think that's probably how I'm going to have them sit. I'll just throw those in one of the boxes I've got. I'm going to have to get a bigger box so I can put all the miscellaneous stuff in there. I think that looks a little bit better. Now he looks like he's ready to go onto a tank or something like that. And actually, with the helmet done up this way, he looks like he could very easily be some sort of tracked tank, like a vehicle commander. More of a modern vehicle commander. But interesting character. Like I said, I remember him and his brother in the cartoon, where I think we really start to see them. They kind of have a psychic connection. They can kind of feel each other's presence, somewhat like Tomax and Xamot. Not quite as good as what Tomax and Xamot have, but you know, it's still an interesting thing to throw that out there, that you have brothers that can kind of feel their presence a little bit or whatever. Usually involved with some sort of trauma going on around them or whatever. And that works out pretty good. You know, I don't know, outside of he looks like he's in a flight suit of some sort with the flak vest on here. I don't know. But there again, if he's you know, he's in the Air Force, and I'm going to say he's probably like the Air Force's Special Forces group, and I don't remember what they call them. And they're really much on par with like the Rangers and all that. I mean, we send them in to go and rescue pilots and get them out, and usually, I believe, watching some of this stuff, they're on par with using like smaller arms, like 9mm, stuff like that, than the M16 and that. Smaller weapons that they can kind of fold up, kind of hold onto their body, so that way they can help try and haul a downed pilot a little bit more. Now Not saying that they couldn't use like an M4 or an M16 or something like that, but quite often they're going in trying to stay as light as they can and have supplies to get a pilot out. That's my understanding, and they are trained to do all the small units, special forces, tactics, and everything else that we typically associate with the Navy SEALs, the Rangers, the Green Berets, all that stuff. You know, just like I said, trying to keep all that in mind. But this is the Air Force's version of that very same thing. So, and it's fun and interesting to watch and see how, you know, we all have duplications of the same type of forces because each branch feels that big need to make sure that they have that available when they need it instead of asking someone else to come in and help out. So, and then there we are. So, nice looking figure. Has some nice pouches on him. I don't know what he's going to stick in this pouch or anything else. He's got a grenade sitting there. He's got a couple small little pouches for something or other. I don't know what he's going to have. I'm guessing that he's going to be putting whatever extra magazines or anything into the backpack. Speaking of magazine, this one actually comes out. So that's always kind of fun and exciting. So you can try and have them hold the magazine in one hand and loading it in the other, depending on, you know, there's a lot of guys that are doing a lot of dioramas of the Joes doing battles or whatever else. I don't have that room. As you see, I've got Legos in the background, so I'm running out of room here. But it's nice and interesting to be able to go back to being the kid again and seeing some of the stuff. They're fun, bringing them out. And the other thought is you know, hey, we're doing the G.I. Joe. Doesn't mean that we can't do G.I. Joe as a role-playing game and saying, hey, I'm going to grab, you know, Airborne here, and he's going to be my figure, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So, you know, they're fun figures. The fact that we get a little bit more detail than what we ever got out of the 3 3/4, which was a wonderful scale. The fact that, you know, Kenner? No, not Kenner. I'm trying to remember who did that for the Star Wars. Yeah, it was Kenner. Kenner did it with the Star Wars, and then Hasbro followed suit. So, and we had a crunch on oil and all that at the time, so it made sense. For doing the vehicles, it makes a lot of sense. The only problem is now here we are, we got everyone doing the vehicles for different trucks and different things or whatever, and now we've gone to a 6-inch figure, so now we're trying to get bigger vehicles. We're just fighting to try and find whatever we can. There are some vehicles out there, they're pricey, but there are vehicles out there for those that have the funds and the means to do it. Go for it, have fun. Those of us that don't, you know, we can sit there and wish and try and figure out less expensive ways of doing it, and we go from there. With that, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.